Coming up, El Paso City Council is set to vote on changes to the city's zoning code that could reshape neighborhoods. They are hosting a public meeting today to go over the key points. We're going to tell you where it's taking place and what you can expect if you do attend. Then the Labor Department's producer price index showed that prices rose in July. It's the largest monthly increase in 3 years, and it could impact the Federal Reserve's decision on interest rates. And it looks like we got to see a little bit of rain coming down earlier today, but is that it, or are we in for another round? Robert.
Monica, tonight is not the night I'm concerned about. It's actually Friday. KTSM is issuing a weather authority alert due to the potential for very heavy rainfall. I'm going to have your detailed forecast. We're live on KTSM Plus, and your news starts right now.
You're watching KTSM 9 News First at 4. Starts right now.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to KTSM 9 News First at 4. I'm Monica Cortez. Take a listen.
Shame on him. Shame on him. He represents a part of El Paso County.
We begin with Democratic Congresswoman Veronica Escobar, who's replying to the ongoing war of words online. So El Paso County's final gun buyback event is happening this weekend, but it's already drawing fire on social media. Take a look at your screen. Texas Republican Congressman Tony Gonzalez took to social media to criticize the event, calling it a, quote, gimmick that never works. But it wasn't just his opinion that got the attention. He also used a derogatory term to describe the event, a word many consider offensive. Well, the backlash was swift, and El Paso State Representative Joe Moody responded by saying, quote, use of the R word says more about the person using it than anyone else. It's dehumanizing, mean-spirited, and just cringy internet edginess. This isn't how leaders talk, and you should be ashamed of yourself, end quote. Of course, Escobar spoke at a news conference earlier today promoting the gun buyback event, and she also weighed in on the controversy. Take a listen.
He chose to try to denigrate El Paso County, and in the process, not only did he try to denigrate a community he represents in Congress, but also he used a term that good people do not use.
Now, something important to note is that this is the final gun buyback event by El Paso County after the Republican-controlled Texas legislature banned cities and counties from having these kinds of programs. Well, first at 4, a man is dead after being arrested on family violence charges, and this is the 9th in custody death so far in the El Paso area this year. Now, according to jail records, 34-year-old Matthew Jacob Cintron was charged Sunday, August 10th, on assault, causing bodily injury by the El Paso Police Department. Cintron was later taken to the El Paso County Detention Facility, and around 6 a.m. he was found dead in his cell during a physical check of the floor. CPR was performed, and he was taken to the University Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead on Monday. KTSM did reach out to the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, which operates the jail, and they responded in part, quote, the Sheriff's Office Major Crimes Unit, in coordination with the Texas Rangers, is conducting a thorough investigation. Additionally, as with any in-custody death, the Texas Commission on Jail Standards will review the circumstances to ensure full compliance with all jail standards, end quote. If you or someone you know is dealing with thoughts of suicide, you can always call the suicide hotline at 988 to get help. Well, a 36-year-old man was arrested for allegedly stealing over $14,000 worth of automotive transmissions from a business in Canutillo. Now, according to El Paso County Sheriff's Office, Ismael Soria Samaripa is facing charges of theft of property and criminal trespass. The Sheriff's Office says on Tuesday they responded to a theft in progress at a business on Donovan Drive. Samaripa was found on the property, and following an investigation, deputies found that he had taken multiple transmissions from the business. Now, he was arrested and booked into the El Paso County Detention Facility. And in case you missed it, a debate is brewing over possible changes to historic neighborhoods in parts of central El Paso. City Council is scheduled to vote next week on El Paso's zoning code called Title 20. Now, the proposal focuses on three main changes: more flexibility for backyard casitas or accessory dwelling units, removing minimum parking requirements in parts of downtown, uptown, and neighborhoods, and updating zoning rules to fit current housing styles. Supporters say it will open the door to more housing, but others worry it could bring unwanted changes to their streets. Meanwhile, city leaders say that the changes would still be subject to enforcement rules and are designed to give property owners more flexibility.
My initial reaction is this is bad planning for our neighborhoods. It's detrimental to the fabric of our neighborhoods.
For downtown to be successful, the areas that surround it also have to be successful. And so the primary way that we were looking at encouraging growth and development was by increasing the number of housing units.
Now, City Council is expected to take up the ordinance on August 19th. If it passes, city officials say that the changes would take effect immediately. Now, the city is also hosting a public meeting on the proposal later today. It's all in efforts to hear from residents and share comments or concerns. The meeting is happening from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. over at City Hall. And to read more on today's top stories, simply visit KTSM.com. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick break from all of our headlines and take a look outside using our tower camera. So a lot of us got to see a few sprinkles coming down earlier today. That was a little bit of a difference compared to what was it, Tuesday, where we had nothing in the sky and then it poured down on us that evening. So Robert, are we in for something backwards where we see a little bit of rain but nothing tonight, or how does it work?
Monica, this atmosphere has me working this monsoon. It's all over the board, and you are right. Tonight, we've got the little hit or miss stuff. In fact, I just mowed my lawn, and then it rained. And, you know, one of the little isolated cells we'll get today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is the day that I'm watching closely.
Yikes.
So, KTSM has issued a weather authority alert due to the potential for very heavy rainfall out of thunder showers on Friday, on Saturday, and on Sunday as well. Here are the high temperatures so far today. 99 Juarez, 97 El Paso, 94 Las Cruces, and 98 out in Deming on the satellite radar composite. Now, it looks very active across the board, and we have still a chance of some little isolated cells popping up here or there. I'm not nervous about the threat of heavy rainfall tonight. I think if we get a cell in the area, the rainfall would be brief. It could be intense for a few moments, but then it'll move on quickly. It is tomorrow that is troubling. So here's a quick look for your Friday. Cloudy skies, very humid through the day. And then here come those thunder showers with the threat of very heavy rainfall. I'm going to have your detailed forecast coming up in just a little bit. Monica.
Robert, thank you so much. Let's go ahead and take a look at traffic through our tech talk cameras, and this is what we are seeing. I-10 Lee Trevino, we are starting to see a little bit of congestion out there, but nothing really major to slow us down. Everything is looking quite smooth. Well, in national coverage, U.S. wholesale inflation surged unexpectedly last month. Today, the Labor Department reported that its producer price index, which measures inflation before it hits consumers, rose 0.9% last month from June, biggest jump in more than 3 years. Compared with a year earlier, wholesale prices rose 3.3%, and those numbers were very much higher than economists had expected. Now, the data is signaling that President Donald Trump's sweeping taxes on imports are pushing costs up and that higher prices for consumers may be on the way. Well, your morning cup of joe could help people in need. Coming up, Dutch Bros locations in Texas are teaming up with the Red Cross to help victims of the 4th of July floods in central Texas. Then a special ceremony, Canantillo ISD's police department's first K-9 is marking the end of her career and finally retiring. More on the farewell celebration. Thank you so much for tuning in to KTSM Plus. Always
month. Call EP Preventative Care today and level up your wellness. Your journey starts now.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, the future of local public media hangs in the balance. The Trump administration is moving to cut federal funding for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Feeling that squeeze is the Borderlands KTEP, UTEP's public radio station, which is launching an emergency fund drive this weekend in hopes of making up for some of the lost dollars. KTEP says that they are now looking to raise at least $50,000 so they can cover the cost of their NPR programming deep into 2026. Of course, we shared this story over to our social media pages, and a lot of you guys had a lot of thoughts to share with us. So we're going to start off with Sharon Roy, who says, blame Trump if you want to, but it's the citizens of America that no longer want to fund this. Emergency ain't it. And Abel Rodriguez writes, how much of that budget goes to salary for staff? If they are no longer public radio stations, then start selling spot advertising. And Victor Gonzalez writes, stations like K-Love have fundraisers 2 times a year. It would be a good idea for KTEP to do the same. And Michael Gonzalez writes, UTEP charges a lot of money for parking. Have them help. Well, here at KTSM, we value your opinion, and we definitely want to hear more from you. So make sure you are following us on all of your social media platforms to keep in touch with us through the comments. All right, well, today marks the 90th anniversary of the Social Security Act being signed into law, helping nearly 70 million Americans. Up next, the challenges the programs face. Today, you're watching KTSM Plus.
Journey continues on. We're with you. Thank you for your service.
Your local weather authority, Robert Bettis, the Borderlands' only certified broadcast meteorologist.
KTSM has issued a weather authority alert due to the potential for very heavy rainfall on Friday, on Saturday, and on Sunday as well. 3 days with a moisture surge that could translate into some thunderstorms that could unlock that heavy rainfall, possibly even causing localized flooding. So we want everybody safe and ready. Tonight we'll see some isolated hit or miss area storms, but tonight is not the night that concerns me. However, the atmosphere changes a lot overnight tonight and into our Friday as that moisture really starts to charge up. 97 is the temperature right now at the airport. Winds are calm, 2.46. High temperatures so far in your town. 97 at the pass, 82 Ruidoso, 97 Alamogordo, 99 so far in Juarez today. I'll look at the satellite radar composite. Here's what's going on. First of all, the mid-level moisture right now is moderate, not too bad. The instability, light to moderate, so I'm not really worried about anything getting going that will be too crazy tonight. But we do have these little isolated hit or miss cells. For example, one just to the south of Deming. Over the border, we've got a couple of isolated thunder showers. Nothing major. And if we do have an individual cell pop up this afternoon and evening, the rainfall would probably be very brief, only a few minutes, not really a formula for causing flooding. For example, we've seen some action up here in the northwestern portion of Hudspeth County. It's been raining a little while there, but not too bad. No flood advisories. 94 is the temperature. Right now in Las Cruces, we've got dew point at 43. That's 17% relative humidity. Here are the temperatures in your area right now. Now, overnight tonight, that's when we're going to feel that moisture start to charge up. In addition to the charge up in moisture, our atmosphere becomes very unstable for Friday. Got a little wave disturbance that's heading our way Friday afternoon as well. So here comes your exclusive 9-hour forecast for Friday. I'm raising the alert so that everybody's ready for the potential of very heavy rain out of individual thunder showers. Those scattered thunder showers could last well into Friday night, and the high temperature tomorrow only 93. A very muggy day tomorrow with elevated humidity. Allergy-wise, it's been 9 across the boards, and that will be the case overnight tonight and through the next few days. 71 for Alamogordo tonight, 70 for Deming, and 75 for Juarez. High temperatures tomorrow going to 90 Alamogordo, 90 Deming, 94 Juarez with mostly cloudy skies and only really moments of sunshine. Tonight, 71 for you, Las Cruces. It's a slight chance, but there is a chance of a hit or miss isolated area storm. Nothing major tonight. 90 the high temperature tomorrow, and we could see some heavy rainfall. 74-hour low at the airport tonight, and then tomorrow is the day I'm worried about. High temperature 93 degrees. Coming up, I'll have your exclusive 9-day forecast. You stay with KTSM 9 News.
We win big. We are Glasheen Vyas Ninderman.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, in your consumer alert, grab a coffee guilt-free. That's right. Dutch Bros locations across Texas want to partner up with you to help the Red Cross disaster relief. So, the Dutch Bros Foundation is giving back to the community in Central Texas following the devastating and historical floods last month during the 4th of July weekend. Here's how it all is going to work and how you can actually help. So, the Dutch Bros Foundation will donate $1 for every drink sold in Texas locations to the Red Cross during this event. The fundraiser is taking place all day tomorrow. As you may remember, at least 135 people died and hundreds others lost everything in the aftermath of the floods, with many still recovering today. And over at Canutillo ISD, the district hosted a retirement ceremony for the district's first canine, 9-year-old Alice. CISD says that the event marks the end of the canine's career, keeping students and staff safe. The ceremony presented full honors and a ceremonial radio send-off for police dispatch to mark Alice's last day on duty. The sergeant, who has worked with her throughout the years, told us she has made an impact on not only schools, but students across the district.
We're really happy, that she's retiring, but at the same time, we're really sad, because she's a great asset to our school environment, and she's done a lot. I mean, I can't say just one thing, because she's prevented a lot of drugs, from this, especially here from the high school, especially right now that THC is in the rise. She prevented a lot from coming into this school.
Now stepping away from active duty after 7 years with the district, Alice will spend her retirement with her handler, Sergeant Andres Hernandez, and she will no longer be bound by her police duties. I am so excited for you, Alice. Congratulations. For more local news, the El Paso del Norte Community Foundation is launching its 10th annual El Paso Giving Day, and today they announced the campaign with a special season opener event for nonprofits from West Texas, Southern New Mexico, and Ciudad Juarez. In case you don't already know, El Paso Giving Day is the region's largest online day of charitable giving. And according to the foundation, over the past 9 years, it has raised more than $11 million for more than 260 local nonprofits. For more information, simply visit elpasogivingday.org. All right, guys, don't go anywhere. We still have a lot more to share with you right after this break.
4.99% APR financing for 72 months. Visit 6330 Montana for more details.
Welcome back, everyone, to KTSM Plus. Well, I'm Monica Cortez. We do have the latest from our Austin newsroom. The Texas Democrats may be coming home soon, but after releasing a list of 2 demands for their return. First, they're asking for Speaker of the House Dustin Burrows and Governor Greg Abbott to commit to ending the first special session and starting a new one. Second, they ask for California Governor Gavin Newsom to push for a redraw of their congressional maps and ask Newsom granted this afternoon. Adam Schwager has the latest.
We're putting the maps on the ballot and we're giving the power to the people.
California Governor Gavin Newsom calling for a November 4th referendum to draw new congressional maps.
It's not complicated. We're doing this in reaction to a president of the United States that called a sitting governor of the state of Texas and said, find me 5 seats.
For Texas, the start of the gerrymandering war between states could lead to House Democrats returning back to Austin. After fleeing the state for 2 weeks to prevent Texas Republicans from voting through congressional maps intended to give Republicans 5 more seats, they laid out 2 demands for their return. First, end the special session. Then, have Newsom respond. They feel those goals represent a win.
We are seeing that Democrats are making a difference across the country. I mean, how many people get to say that?
However, the weight of being away from home can take a toll.
Staff has been running just doing like 16, 18-hour days. People, we're human beings. We have a physical limit.
In response to rumors of Newsom's proposal, Texas Governor Greg Abbott floated the idea of drawing an even more favorable map to Republicans. And U.S. Senator Ted Cruz advocated for a map eliminating all Democratic congressmen from Texas. Wu says he hopes Cruz gets his way.
I'm begging you, please do it. In politics, we call that dummy mandering, where you get so greedy for power and you draw the line so thin that it's not that hard for your opponents to overcome you.
While California's election is set for November, Newsom says he'll back down if Abbott and other red state governors do. In Austin, I'm Adam Schwager.
Well, first at 4, Labor Day is right around the corner, and TxDOT and state law enforcement is making it clear that if you drink and drive, you will face serious consequences. A multi-agency campaign was officially launched today, highlighting the dangers of DWIs. Officials say despite being entirely preventable, DUI alcohol-related traffic crashes led to near 2,000 deaths and about 2,200 serious injuries in Texas last year. That's 1 person killed every 8 hours by a drunk driver.
You know, 1 death is too much. I don't think that anybody who's out at a football game or at a party or at a baby shower, no one sets out to cause the death of someone in this community, of a neighbor, of a friend, or a family member. But it happens, and we need people to start thinking ahead, making a plan to get home and to make better choices.
Local police will increase enforcement efforts to identify and arrest drunk drivers across Texas starting tomorrow through September 1st. Well, a failed New Mexico House candidate was sentenced to 80 years in federal prison on Wednesday for hiring gunmen to shoot at the homes of 4 Democratic elected officials in the Albuquerque area following his 2022 election defeat. Cassie Foote has more.
It took federal judge Kier Riggs less than an hour to sentence Solomon Peña to 80 years in prison. In 2022, Peña arranged and carried out a shooting at the homes of 4 Democratic lawmakers: Debbie O'Malley, Adrian Barboa, Javier Martinez, and Linda Lopez. The shooting followed his loss of the District 14 House seat. Luckily, no one was injured. We spoke to the victims when the shooting first happened back in 2022.
I couldn't help but think of how I had just been playing right here with my granddaughter, and my daughter was here, and we were getting ready for Christmas.
Albuquerque police arrested Peña in January of 2023. During the sentencing Wednesday morning, Peña didn't speak, but his attorney claimed he maintains his innocence. But Judge Riggs says while he stood there with no remorse, it all boils down to his ego and not accepting the fact he lost the election, saying, quote, "It's all about you." House Speaker Javier Martinez's wife, Diana, was emotional in the courtroom as she spoke of the trauma they endured. Senator Debbie O'Malley was not in the courtroom, but she told us it wouldn't have made a difference.
He has no sympathy for people. So my point was to speak to who, right? Is it just because I wanted to say something? And I didn't want to kind of relive a little bit of that emotional trauma. Physically, no one was physically hurt, but clearly there was a lot of emotional trauma from the individuals who were victims.
Adrienne Barboa, the Bernalillo County District 3 Commissioner, was not in the courtroom. She told us in a statement the decision was in part to protect her peace and health, saying, "I am not shuddered or intimidated by Peña's failed attempts to stall or halt democracy. I too have faced hardships in my life and have chosen the path of love, healing, and public servitude. While Peña has used his hardships to justify violence, love is stronger."
Now, the cause of a house fire is still under investigation in Las Cruces. Fire officials say that it happened on the 3100 block of Rio Ariza loop. That was around 2 p.m. Wednesday. Crews were called about an outside fire. Upon them battling the flames, they found that the fire was also in the home and the attic space. The blaze was then upgraded. We're told no one was hurt and the damage and cause is being investigated. Well, from our border report, the U.S. State Department is calling on Americans to stay away from the Mexican border state of Tamaulipas and to reconsider travel to Baja California, Sonora, and the state of Chihuahua. The latest travel advisory cites violent crimes in those states, including homicide, kidnapping, carjacking, and robbery. It also alludes to a risk of terroristic violence in some of those areas. The state of Tamaulipas, which borders South Texas, is designated as a level 4 risk, which means do not travel. In the state of Chihuahua, turf battles between criminal groups have led to violence in restaurants and shopping centers frequented by American tourists. Government employees are urged not to travel to certain areas in Chihuahua, including Copper Canyon. This is the state in which you will find the 5 magic towns, which we featured in our small town spotlight earlier this month. The State Department is also restricting travel of government employees to tourist areas in downtown Juarez and some avenues leading to commercial districts. Going anywhere close to the Anapra neighborhood in northwest Juarez is prohibited. To read more on this story, just head on over to borderreport.com. All right, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about weather, because that is what everyone is talking about today. So we got to see a little bit of sprinkles coming down. The biggest question is, are we in for another round? Robert, what can you tell us about today's forecast?
We are in for potentially 3 more rounds, Monica, on Friday, on Saturday, and on Sunday, too. All weekend long. KTSM has issued a weather authority alert. We want you safe. It is due to the potential for heavy rainfall, intense rainfall out of some thunderstorms that could be forming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're in for a very active weekend. 97 is the temperature. Right now at the International Airport, we've got a dew point at 46. That's 18% relative humidity. Satellite radar composite. Right now we've got partly to mostly cloudy skies with a few little isolated hit or miss storms tonight. Nothing major tonight. I'm expecting if we get any rainfall at all out of these little cells, it's going to move along pretty quickly and not cause flooding. That will not be the potential case for tomorrow. 93 the high temperature for our Friday. Very cloudy, very muggy. Here come the thunder showers driven by waves of disturbances that come through all weekend long. I'm going to have your detailed forecast coming up in just a little bit. Monica.
Robert, thank you so much. Well, in case you missed this story, the future of local public media hangs in the balance. The Trump administration is moving to cut federal funding for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Feeling that squeeze is the Borderlands KTEP UTEP's public radio station, which is launching an emergency fund drive that this weekend in hopes of making up for some of the lost dollars. Take a look.
Never in any of my wildest dreams, or nightmares I should say, did I ever think that we would lose funding from the federal government.
KTEP says that they are down 20% of their budget, over $200,000, putting at risk their programming. They're now looking to raise at least $50,000 so that they can cover the cost of their NPR programming deep into 2026. If they can't start making up that money, they'd say that it may affect students' training in the future.
Okay, the equipment that you see here, this is state-of-the-art equipment, and it's important for us to have that so that the equipment that the students are learning on is the same equipment, if not better, that they're going to encounter out in the real world.
Now, Carrillo says that they're on a plan to make the station self-sustaining. The emergency drive is happening from this Friday from 6 p.m. to midnight on FM 88.5. The second part of the drive is on Saturday from 11 in the morning to midnight. Well, today marks the 90th anniversary of the Social Security Act. President Franklin Roosevelt signed it into law in 1935 as a way to give older Americans economic stability. But today, the program faces future funding challenges. Washington correspondent Maddie Beer-Temple reports on the milestone and how leaders on both sides of the aisle say they want to improve this program.
90th anniversary of one of the most significant pieces of legislation.
President Donald Trump issued a proclamation Thursday honoring 90 years of Social Security. The program currently benefits nearly 70 million Americans, mostly retired, with an average monthly check of $1,863.
We're going to make it stronger, bigger and better.
The president is touting his administration's efforts to improve the program, claiming fewer improper payments and better customer service.
Call wait times are down 73%. While serving twice as many customers per day.
He also recently signed a law that removes taxes on Social Security income for most seniors. But Democrats are slamming the administration for cuts they say hurt service.
They're closing offices. They're cutting staff. People cannot get help.
Michigan Congresswoman Debbie Dingell and other Democrats are calling for legislation to shore up the program's future.
It's long overdue.
An annual report released in June shows the Social Security Administration may not have enough money to pay out full benefits starting in 2034.
We have got to expand Social Security and extend its solvency.
Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders is calling for an end to the income cap that currently limits how much higher earners have to pay into Social Security,
so that the wealthiest Americans start paying their fair share of taxes.
But the president says the program is on the right track under his leadership.
And we love it, and we love what's happening with it. And it's going to be good for 90 years and beyond.
In Washington, I'm Maddie Beer-Temple.
Well, here in the borderland, El Paso's iconic star will be shining a light on the 90 years of Social Security. The El Paso star will glow red tonight to highlight Social Security's importance to millions of Americans and to raise awareness about the challenges the program faces. According to the AARP, in El Paso County alone, nearly 147,000 El Pasoans receive benefits that inject $2.3 billion annually into the local economy, helping pay for essentials like food, housing, and healthcare. All right, coming up, the quorum break may be over this weekend, just under 2 weeks after it began. We read over your comments about this topic in today's In the Comments segment. Thank you so much for tuning in to KTSM 9 News First at 4.
I'm Andy Morgan. You're watching KTSM 9 News, putting local first.
Your local weather authority, Robert Bettis, the Borderlands' only certified broadcast meteorologist.
Welcome back, everyone. All right, Mr. Robert, so you're telling us you're keeping your eye very close on Friday, tomorrow.
Yes, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
3 days.
The whole weekend and weekend could bring quite a bit of rainfall. So we want everybody safe as always. And we've seen these storms before. They crop up out of the blue.
You nailed it on Tuesday. Yeah.
Thank you. I just saw that thing charging up, and I see a similar situation tomorrow. Okay. So let's take a look. We've got high temperatures of 99 so far today. Juarez 97 for El Paso, 94, Las Cruces 93, and TRC Alamogordo reporting a hot 97 as well. Now we still have a chance of little isolated hit or miss thunderstorms tonight. But tonight is not the night that makes me nervous. It is Friday that makes me nervous because instability really starts to climb. Mid-level moisture really goes off the chart for Friday. Tonight, we're slightly unstable, so a little pop-up shower or isolated storm here or there, certainly possible tonight. Of all the places in county, one little cell went right over the upper valley and got a couple of drops, so very exciting, but it also wasn't a flooding situation, nor will we see that tonight. We have some isolated storms out here, northern portion of Hudspeth County, that's starting to move over toward to East Montana right there as you're leaving the county. A little bit of rain coming down not far from Waco Tanks. Again, nothing major tonight. We'll keep that chance of isolated storms in late into the night. Taper that off tomorrow. Mostly cloudy skies, very humid in the afternoon, and then here come the potentially strong thunder showers. 93 in Las Cruces right now, dew point 43. I expect those dew points tomorrow to be in the 55 to 60 degree range with even higher levels of relative humidity above us in the upper levels of the atmosphere where we will be charged up and ready to go. And we know how this monsoon has been. It can be quiet, and then 20 minutes later, it's pouring and flooding streets. So let's just be ready. Here is your 9-hour forecast for Friday. A very muggy day, moments of sunshine, pulling the high down from 95 to 93. And here come the thunder showers with the threat of very heavy rainfall out of individual storms. 9s across the board on your allergy forecast for the next few days. Tonight for you, Las Cruces 71. Chance of an isolated area storm this evening. If we get any rain tonight, it would be brief. 90, the high temperature tomorrow, very different story. You're under that weather authority alert as well. 74, low temperature tonight at the airport. A little isolated hit or miss stuff this evening. Nothing major tonight. Tomorrow, 93. Here come the scattered thunder showers and the threat of heavy rainfall. Now, only KTSM gives you 9 full days of weather. I'm concerned about the next 3 days. Saturday as well, heavy rain threat, high temperature 90, very cloudy, wave disturbances coming through, giving us the power for possible thunderstorms. Sunday as well, 91 degrees that day, very muggy, heavy rain threat out of some storms. Then we really thin out on our moisture. We'll downgrade that to isolated storms, and then we dry out for a couple of days. Wednesday, 101. Chance of storms late Thursday, and 99. Monica.
Robert, thank you so much. I want to take you outside now using our TechDoc cameras, and this is a cool shot of I-10 Mesa here, and you can see traffic is moving quite smoothly in all directions. Not a lot to slow it down. I-10 McRae on the east side, well, everything is moving quite smoothly. And sticking with the roads, there are some road closures taking place this week that may disrupt your daily commute. So, according to TxDOT, as part of the I-10 Widening West 2 project, I-10 East and westbound between Anthony and Nashua will have alternate lane closures Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. North and South Desert Boulevard between Anthony and Nashua will also have alternating lane closures. TxDOT tells us crews will be performing dirt work and removing other kinds of materials. Meanwhile, as part of the Trans Mountain Rehab Project, Trans Mountain East and West between Tom Mays and the Main Gap will have the left lane closures Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. TxDOT says crews will be working on punch list items. And for a complete list of road closures, just simply visit KTSM.com and click on that traffic tab. All right, well, the quorum break may be over this weekend, just under 2 weeks after it began. And House Democrats have already announced that they will return under the conditions that the first special session adjourns and that California introduces new congressional maps of its own. Democrats say their return comes as they have successfully achieved their goal of raising national awareness about the Texas Republican plan to redraw maps. The Democrats' return to Texas means Texas Republicans will almost certainly have the votes to pass the maps, and what happens next will now be up to voters in California. So we ended up sharing this story on our social media accounts, and many of you had thoughts you wanted to share with us. We're going to start off with Alex Lucero, who writes on Facebook, quote, "I hope that the DPS officers are ready to arrest every single one of them. I say arrest them on Friday night and let them spend the weekend in general population and then let them out on Monday." Corina Ann Ebbs writes, quote, "What does California have to do with Texas?" And Rick Colpole says on Facebook that this is America and compromise has worked over 200 years and now Republicans want to dictate other demands. Hello, no, no. And so here at KTSM, we of course value your opinion and we want to hear more from you. So make sure you're always following us on all of our social media platforms to keep in touch with us through the comments. Guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this quick break.
KTSM 9 News, putting local first.
KTSM has issued a weather authority alert due to the potential for heavy rainfall out of individual thunderstorms Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as well. We're extending This alert all the way through the weekend. Tomorrow, 93 the high temperature, 90 on Saturday, 91 on Sunday. We will have moments of sunshine, but you're going to feel elevated humidity, very muggy. And of course, these scattered thunder showers could unlock quite a bit of rain. It's all charged up. We dry out Tuesday and Wednesday. By Wednesday, a little dome of high pressure takes us to 101. Monica.
Robert, thank you so much. Well, here's a quick preview of what's coming up at 5. So, on September 1st, we've been telling you gun buyback events can no longer take place in the state of Texas. We're going to tell you when the final event is happening right here in El Paso and how much you could get for your firearm. And KTSM 9 News reporter Jesus Baltazar, he is speaking with the family and their attorney over a lawsuit they filed against the city of Solon Park after they say their home caught fire and the fire hydrant closest to them didn't work. What they say they are now asking from the city of Solon Park. Well, that does it for me. Don't go anywhere. We're going to have a lot more for you coming up in just a few minutes. We'll be right back.
Provided by